A lot of noise in the stock market now about whether to buy individual stocks or to buy ETFs, and some people say they don't buy ETFs, some people say they don't buy individual stocks. Now, as much as I am this kind of person who do not believe in one over the other, as I have both in my portfolio, I think there's a need for having a better perspective about ETFs and individual stocks. Now, you need to understand, this is not a video to give you explanation of what ETFs are and what individual stocks are. However, it is important to quickly mention that individual stocks are basically the companies you have out there, like the Lloyd, like the Tesla, the Microsoft, and all of those things. While ETFs is a combination of individual stock, thereby making ETFs less volatile than individual stocks. Now, one thing you need to understand is ETFs could also be very volatile depending on the kind of ETF you want to buy. Imagine an ETF such as QQQ. QQQ is actually an ETF that tracks the performance of the top 100 tech companies in the United States of America. Now, this kind of ETF is also really very volatile. You can see a return of up to 30%, 40% sometimes in this kind of ETFs. That is volatility for you. That is exposing yourself to risk for you. Okay, now one of the reasons why people always mention ETFs over individual stock is the diversification that comes with holding ETFs, right? Which you can also achieve with buying individual stocks as well. So you just need to understand the balance. If I'm buying individual stock, why am I buying it? Am I chasing meme stocks, or am I buying blue chip companies that I know that the chances of me losing my money in that just one company is very low, right? If you have, for example, Meta in your portfolio and you plan to invest in Meta for the long term, I don't think that is really a risky game playing. Now, this is not financial advice, of course, but I think it is just good that we put this perspective into play. What are those companies that people are actively patronizing? Tesla, right? Facebook, which is Meta, right? Microsoft. People use Microsoft on a consistent basis. So the chances of Microsoft going down on the long term especially is very low. So we need to understand what we really are doing. Now, if you want to start buying meme stocks, or all those stocks that do not have good fundamentals, we don't know them, they don't have reliable products that people are actively using yet, all of those things, then you are exposing yourself to a lot of risk, right? But if you are buying companies that have good fundamentals, good services, good products that are actively being used by people on a consistent basis, your chances of losing your money in that kind of stock is very low if you are playing the long-term game. Don't forget that even with ETFs, you can actually lose money, right? With individual stock, you can also lose money. Now, what makes it differ really is how well you know that company, how well people patronize that company when it comes to individual stock. And for ETFs, how long do you want to stay? Also for individual stock, how long do you want to stay? So you need to understand these things before you now decide on which one you really want to go for. Don't let us start dividing ourselves as finance content creators, saying I don't buy ETFs or I don't buy individual stock. No, they are all instruments for wealth building, which I believe that is what we are really after. And that is why we are educating the public about what stock market is. So I believe this helps. If you want to see more content like this, kindly hit the follow button right away. Like this video as well, and I'll catch you on my next video. Cheers.